With the new addition to the family with the arrival of my new nephew, Jordan, I figured since I have not been around a baby in a long time, I thought I should bone up a little on my skills taking care of a little one. Babysitting Mama is another entry in the Mama series. It started with Cooking Mama, but she has branched out into other areas, like gardening and crafting. What's next, Mama? Camping? Oh wait, she's done that one too. I bet there's no line of work she couldn't find herself in. You know, I could totally see her like as a car mechanic. Car mechanic Mama. We need to change out your fuel filter and replace your spark plugs. Truly, is there any line of work that Mama can't do? You play the title this time by using the doll included with the game. This is the doll that comes with the game. It's very squeezable and soft, so kids will enjoy that. And in the back, it has a place where you can put your Wiimote. It easily just slips right in, and then you plug your nunchuck on the top. The motion controls work well. I had very few issues with it misreading my movements with the baby, and overall it just wasn't a problem. Whenever you get a little zealous in your movements, the game will stop and tell you to stop shaking the baby, which is good advice, but I wish they wouldn't tell you this over and over and over again. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to advise, but how about other advice for taking care of a baby? Like you should burp it, or feed it, or play with it. It was a little awkward to hold the nunchuck while holding the baby, but since the motion controls on the nunchuck were also used in the game at times, I guess it couldn't be avoided. The gameplay is very simple for a young child to play. I think a child as young as 4 or 5 could play this game without too much of a problem. The mini games were not that hard to do, since they're targeted at younger kids, but the instructions should have been a little more spelled out. The production visuals seemed nice. They weren't great graphics, but they were nice enough for a kid's babysitting game. They were very colorful and fun. The minigames at times were a bit repetitive. While they didn't repeat the same exact one often, quite a few of the minigames were very similar. Mainly the ones that had you move the baby in one direction or another. There were a lot of strange minigames though. The strangest one is the one where you're racing babies. But I know there's gotta be like some promoter out there looking at this going, you know what? That's not such a bad idea. Because I can see like 10 years from now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the sport of the future, racing babies. I would not say that the minigames in the Mama series are particularly hard, but sometimes they can get a little challenging. The minigames in this one I would say were the easiest of all the Mama series. And I have to believe that the use of the doll really cut down on the things they could do with the minigames. Now, like I said, they do incorporate the nunchuck to change things up a little, but the games were still very simple. There's a training mode if you want to get the best score, which is normally not necessary, since the game gives you plenty of leeway between the needed time to complete an objective and the time they give you. Usually you can make quite a few mistakes without needing to worry about not winning the minigame. Now you might ask, what happens if you don't win a minigame? The answer is nothing. Mama will just move on to the next game, and you don't get a good score. When you get a good score, you can unlock the games that you play in the story mode anytime you want, or you can get more kids to babysit, or photos of you playing the game. Plus you can also add more levels to complete in the story mode. Overall, the game was very generous in doling out the extras, so a moderately good score will get you some decent unlockables. The story mode is played out in little 4 to 5 minigame sections. After you play through those sections, they let you go to the next level, where you'll play 4 or 5 more minigames again. Then you do that for a few more levels, and then you move on to the next baby to babysit. One of the strangest additions in this game, once per chapter, Mama will have a crisis break out and have to leave the baby to deal with it. Like this time, for example. She was in the middle of playing with the baby in the park, and the other kid in her life loses its hat. And she has to leave the baby so she can go super jump up a tree to get it. That's right, she leaves the baby unattended in a public park while she jumps up a tree to get her hat. Because as you know, a hat is way more important than a baby. That's some good role modeling there, Mama. Other than the story mode and practice mode, that's about all this game has to offer. You can play in a versus mode like you're battling to see who's the best babysitter, but that involves you needing 2 dolls, and I don't know how practical that is. It would have been better if you could just switch off. Babysitting Mama is not bad. For what it was trying to accomplish, a babysitting simulator for young children, I would say it's a success. All of the minigames that you had to do to take care of a child were very easy to understand and pull off. If you're a fan of the other Mama games and you're not younger than 10, I don't think you're going to enjoy this title. It just isn't very challenging, and older kids would find it boring fairly quick. However, if you have a younger child who likes to pretend to take care of a baby, this would be a great game for them. And for them, I think it's completely worth a buy.